Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel ABK Smart Study. So today we will discuss the part 7 of our lecture series, that is mechanical engineering subject thermodynamics and their objectives. So today we will discuss the 25 plus questions, 25 plus important questions in details. So which are asked in many types of exam such as IES exam, also ONGC exam, and also RTO AMV exam. So let us start the video. So let us start the question 1 of the today's lecture. So question is, the ratio of specific heats of a gas at constant pressure and at constant volume is always. So options are A constant, option B varies with pressure, option C varies with temperature, and option D none of these. So when the ratio of specific heats of a gas at constant pressure and constant volume, that is Cp upon Cv, is always varies with temperature. So Cp by Cv ratio always varies with temperature, so which is given in option C. So option C is the correct answer. Next question, a centrifugal fan forms which system? So options are option A closed system, option B open system, option C isolated system, and option D none of these. So we know a centrifugal fan which forms an open system. So here option B open system is the correct answer. Next question, an engine operates between a temperature of 900 degree Kelvin and T2. That is, an engine operates between temperature of 900 and T2, and another engine between T2 and 400, and another engine between T2 and 400. So for both do equal work. So we know both do equal work, then value of T2 will be, so equation become 900 T1 minus T2 is equal to T2 minus T3. So here T1 is given 900 degree Kelvin, T2 we have to find out, and T3 is given 400. So equation become work done is equal for both is 900 minus T2 is equal to T2 minus 400. So by solving that we get 1300 is equal to 2 T2. So by dividing 2 into 1300 we get T2 is equal to 650 degree Kelvin, so which is given in option A. So when the engine operates between temperature range, that is 900 degree Kelvin T2, and the another engine between T2 and 400 degree Kelvin, so both doing equal work, then the value of T2 will be 650 degree Kelvin. So option A is the correct answer. Next question, steady flow system work can be determined by the expression. So which expression determines the steady flow system? So options are option A integration of 1 to 2 P into dV, option B minus integration of 1 to 2 into VdP, option C minus integration of 1 to 2 into PdV, and option D integration of 1 to 2 into VdP. So we know for a steady flow system work can be determined by the expression, that is minus integration of 1 to 2 into VdP. So here option B minus integration of 1 to 2 in V into dP is the correct expression for steady flow system work. So option B is the correct answer. Next question. According to Joule's law. So Joule's law defines what? Option A, J is equal to Q by W. Option B, W is equal to Q by J. Option C, Q is equal to W by J. And option D, W is equal to J by Q. So we know Joule's law defines Q is equal to W upon J. So here option C, Q is equal to W by J is the Joule's law. So option C is the correct answer. Next question. An engine operates between temperature limits of 900 degree Kelvin and T2 and another between T2 and 400 degree Kelvin. So same temperature of previous problem. Here temperature limits are same, but both be equally efficient. So here in previous question work done is equal given. So in that efficient means efficiency of both engines are equal. So here we have to find out the value of T2. So we know T1 is equal to 900 degree Kelvin, T2 let us find out, and T3 is equal to 400. So the efficiency of engine is T1 minus T2 divided by T1 is equal to T2 minus T3 divided by T2. So here we know T1 is equal to 900 minus T2 divided by 900 is equal to T2 minus 400 divided by T2. That is efficiency 1 is equal to efficiency of second engine. So by solving that equation by cross multiplication we get the value of T2, and which is equal to 600 degree Kelvin. So here option A, that is 600 degree Kelvin. When the both heat engines are equally efficient, then T2 will be 600 degree Kelvin, which is given in option A. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. A heat engine is supplied heat at the rate of 30,000 joule per second. That is Q is equal to 30,000 joules per second and gives an output of, that is output is equal to 9 kilowatt. So here input is equal to 30,000 joules per second and output is equal to 9 kilowatt. So we know then the thermal efficiency of engine will be. This question is important, and also in exams GAIL and in NHPC these questions are asked. So this is important question. So here we know efficiency is equal to output upon input. So here 9 kilowatt is output, that is we convert it into joule, that is 9 into 10 raised to 3 upon input is equal to 13,000 into 100. So by solving this we get the efficiency, and efficiency is equal to up to 30%, and which is given in option B. So a heat engine is supplied heat at the rate of 13,000 joules per second and gives an output of 9 kilowatt, then the thermal efficiency of engine will be 33%. So here option B is the correct answer. Next question. Joule Kelvin coefficient is denoted by. So Joule Kelvin coefficient is denoted by. Options are option A delta T upon delta T bracket close N, option B delta T upon delta V bracket close P, option C delta S upon delta P bracket close T, and option D delta P upon delta S bracket close V. So here S is equal to entropy, V is equal to volume, T is equal to temperature, and P is equal to pressure. So we know Joule's Kelvin coefficient is denoted by delta T upon delta P with N. So here option A, that is Kappa T by Kappa P bracket close n is the correct representation of Joule Kelvin coefficient. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. Steam flow through a nozzle is considered as. So steam flow through the nozzle is considered as, options are constant flow, option B isothermal flow, option C adiabatic flow, and option D constant volume flow. So we know steam flow through the nozzle is considered as the adiabatic flow, that is here given in option C. So steam flow through a nozzle is given as the adiabatic flow. So here option C is the correct answer. Next question. If both Stirling and Carnot cycle operate within the same temperature limit, that is both Stirling and Carnot cycle operates within same temperature limits, then the efficiency of Stirling cycle as compared to Carnot cycle when operating between same temperature limits is. This is asked in GAIL exam. So here options are more, option B less, option C equal, and option D depends on the factors. So the temperature limits are same for the both Stirling and Carnot cycle, then both of them compared, then the Carnot cycle efficiency is equal to Stirling cycle. So here option C equal, so both the efficiencies are equal. So here option C is the correct answer. Next question. Here thermal power plant works on. So which cycle thermal power plant work? Options are A Carnot cycle, option B Joule cycle, option C Rankine cycle, and option D Otto cycle. So Otto cycle petrol engine works, Joule cycle also petrol engine works, and Carnot cycle is not possible. So remaining option is Rankine cycle. So Rankine cycle is the correct answer, that is thermal power plants work on Rankine cycle. So here option C is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following is an irreversible cycle? So following 4 cycles are given. Which of the following is irreversible? Option A Carnot, option B Stirling, Ericsson, option D none of this. So given 3 options are reversible cycles, that is Carnot cycle is also reversible, Stirling is reversible, and Ericsson is also reversible. So none of these are the irreversible cycle. So here option D is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following relationship defines the gives free energy? So which of the following relationship defines the gives free energy? So this question is asked in GAIL exam. So options are gives free energy G is equal to H plus Ts, option B G is equal to H minus Ts, option C F is equal to U plus Ts, and option D F is equal to U minus Ts. So we know the gives free energy equation is G is equal to H minus Ts. So H means enthalpy and Q is equal to heat. G is gives the free energy is H minus Ts. So here option B G is equal to H minus Ts is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following relationship defines the Helmholtz function F? So Helmholtz function F, options are F is equal to H plus Ts, option B F is equal to H minus Ts, option C F is equal to U plus Ts, and option D F is equal to U minus Ts. So Helmholtz function F is equal to U minus Ts, which is given in option D. So here option D, F is equal to U minus Ts, is the Helmholtz function F. So option D is the correct answer. Next question. Temperature of the order of minus 150 degrees Celsius can be accurately measured by. So minus 150 degrees Celsius can be accurately measured by. Options are A, thermocouples, option B, gas thermometer, option C, pyrometer. So pyrometer used for high temperature measurement. So this is wrong. Option D, alcohol thermometer. This is also wrong. And thermocouples are used for more temperature. So here remaining is only gas thermometer. So here gas thermometer is the correct answer. So temperature up to minus 150 degrees Celsius can be accurately measured by a gas thermometer. So here option B, gas thermometer, is the correct answer. Next question. Flameless combustion means. So flameless combustion means, what is the flameless combustion? Option A, inert gas combustion, option B, invisible combustion, option C, catalytic combustion, and option D, combustion in vacuum. So flameless combustion is a catalytic combustion which is occur in silencer, that is in catalytic converter. So catalytic combustion is the flameless combustion. So option C is the correct answer. Catalytic combustion is the flameless combustion. Next question. All the commercial liquid fuels are derived from. So all the commercial fuels like petrol, diesel, which are derived from. That is option A, coal, option B, crude oil, option C, gasoline, and option D, fuel oil. So we know all commercial liquid fuels are derived from only crude oil, which is given in option B. So crude oil is the correct answer, from which all commercial liquid fuels are derived. So option B is the correct answer. Next question. Here sometimes ice is white in color. So we know sometimes the ice is white in color, it is because of or it is due to. So ice is because of. Options are it cooled rapidly, option B, subcooling, option C, mixing of salt in water, and option D, pressure of dissolved air or gases and impurities. So we know the ice is white in color because of pressure of dissolved air and gases and impurities are present in the water. So here due to that ice is white in color. So here option D, pressure of dissolved air or gases and impurities, is the correct answer. Here option D is the correct answer. Due to that ice is white in color. Next question. The value of gas constant for air in SI units is equal to. So this question is also asked in NHPC exam. So this is important question. Option A, the value of gas constant for air, that is value of R for air, is what? So here options are 287 Newton meter per kg degree Kelvin, option B 28.7 Newton meter per kg degree Kelvin, option C 29.27 Newton meter per kg degree Kelvin, and option D 2.87 Joule per kg degrees Kelvin. So we know the value of gas constant R is equal to 287 Newton meter per kg Kelvin. So here option A, 287 Newton meter per kg degree Kelvin, is the correct answer. That is the value of gas constant for air is equal to 287 Newton meter per kg degree Kelvin or 287 joule per kg degree Kelvin. That is option A is the correct answer. Next question. The change of entropy of a unit mass of a perfect gas for polytropic process, that is change of entropy per unit mass of a perfect gas for polytropic process is equal to. So this question asked in NHPC exam, also important question. So options are the change in entropy for polytropic process per unit mass of perfect gas is given by option A R minus n divided by 1 minus n into log e T2 upon T1. Option B R minus n divided by 1 minus n into Cv log e T2 upon T1. Option C 1 minus n divided by R minus 1 bracket close Cv log e T2 upon T1. And option D 1 plus n divided by R minus n bracket close into Cv log e T2 upon Tn. So here correct option for the change of entropy, that is for a perfect gas or polytropic process, is equal to R minus n divided into Cv log e T2 upon T1. So here option B is the correct answer for the change in entropy. Next question. So here question is air contains by weight. So here this question is asked in NHPC exam. So air contains by weight is how many part of oxygen and how many part of nitrogen. So option A 23 part of O2 and 77 part of N2. Option B 21 part of O2 and 79 part of N2. Option C 77 part of O2 and 23 part of N2. And option D 79 parts of O2 and 21 parts of N2. So we know on weight basis air contains 23 part of oxygen and 77 part of nitrogen, that is N2. So here which is given in option A, that is 23 parts of O2 and 77 parts of N2. So here correct option is option A, that is air contains by weight 27 part O2 and 77 part N2. Next question. Now here air contains by the volume. So we have seen air contained by the weight, and here the question is air contained by the volume. So options are 27 parts of O2 and 77 parts of N2. Option B 21 parts of O2 and 79 parts of N2. Option C 77 parts of O2 and 23 parts of N2. Option D 79 part of O2 and 21 part of N2. So we know by weight basis it contains 23 part of oxygen and 77 parts of nitrogen. But here air contains by volume is 21 part of oxygen and 79 parts of nitrogen. So 21 parts of oxygen and 79 parts of nitrogen, which is given in option B. So here option B is the correct answer, that is air contains by volume. Next question. For atmospheric air the Cv is equal to, so what is the value of Cv for atmospheric air? So Cv is equal to, options are 0.171 kJ per kg degree Kelvin. Option B 1.4 kJ per kg degree Kelvin. Option C 0.24 kJ per kg degree Kelvin. And option D 0.42 kJ per kg degree Kelvin. So we know for the atmospheric air value of Cv is equal to 0.171 kJ per kg degree Kelvin. So which is given in option A. So here option A is the correct answer, that is value of Cv 0.171 kJ per kg degree Kelvin. Next question. So here For atmospheric air, Cp is equal to, so we have seen Cv, that is 0.171. So this option is wrong. Option B 1.4 kJ per kg is wrong. Option C 0.42 is also wrong, and option C is 0.24 kJ per kg degree Kelvin, which is correct. That is, for atmospheric air, Cp is equal to 0.24 kJ per kg degree Kelvin, which is given in option C. So here option C is the correct answer. Next question. Work done in compressing 1 kg of gas adiabatically from P1 V1 T1 to P2 V2 T2 is equal to, and this asked in BHEL exam. So this is important question. So work done in compressing 1 kg of gas from pressure P1 V1 and T2 to P2 V2 T2, P1 V1 T1 to P2 V2 T2 is equal to. So we know work done, here we are compressing, so here we take the Cv, and by compressing then the temperature is increases, that is, which is given by the equation T2 minus T1. So Cv into T2 minus T1 is the work done for compressing 1 kg of gas adiabatically. So here options are given in option A, that is Cv into T2 minus T1 is the work done for compressing 1 kg of gas adiabatically from P1 V1 T1 to P2 V2 T2. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. If a door of a running refrigerator inside a room was left open, then which of the following statements is correct? So this question is asked in ONGC and DRDO both exams. So this is important question. So when we open the door of refrigerator in closed room, then what will happen? So here statements 4 given. Statement 1, the room will be cooled to the temperature inside the refrigerator. Option B, the room will be cooled very slightly. Option C, the room will be gradually warmed up. Option D, the temperature of the air in room will remain unaffected. So what will happen? So we know when we running refrigerator inside a room, its door left open, then the room will be gradually warmed up, and which is given in option C. So here option C, the room will be gradually warmed up is the correct answer. Next question. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water through 1 degree Celsius is called. So this question is asked in BHEL exam. So this is important question. So the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water through 1 degree Celsius is, so what amount heat required? So option A, specific heat at constant volume. Option B, specific heat at constant pressure. Option D, none of the above, and option C, kilocalorie. So we know kilocalorie is heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg water through 1 degree Celsius, which is called as kilocalorie. So here option C, kilocalorie, is the correct answer. That is, heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg water through 1 degree Celsius is called kilocalorie. Next question. In SI units, the value of universal gas constant. Universal gas constant is, that is, R bar. So what is the value of universal gas constant? Your options are A, 8.314 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin. Option B, 83.14 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin. Option C, 83.14 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin. And option D, 8314 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin. So we know R bar for universal gas constant is its SI unit is, in SI unit R bar is equal to 8314 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin. So 8314, which is given in option D, 8314. So here option D is the correct answer. 8314 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin is the SI units value of universal gas constant. Next question. When wood is heated with a limited supply of air to a temperature not less than 280 degrees Celsius, then the resulting fuel is. So when wood is heated with limited supply of air with temperature not less than 280 degrees Celsius, so the resulting fuel will be option A coke, option B wood charcoal, option C bituminous coal, and option D briquetted coal. So when with a limited supply of air wood is heated, then temperature not less than 280 degrees Celsius, then resulting fuel is wood charcoal. So here option B wood charcoal resulting fuel. So option B is the correct answer. Next question. The hard coke is obtained when combination of coal is carried out at. Carbonization of coal is carried out at. So the hard coke is obtained when carbonization coal is carried at temperature option A 300 to 500 degrees Celsius, option B 500 to 700 degrees Celsius, option C 700 degrees Celsius to 900 degrees Celsius, and option D 900 to 1100 degrees Celsius. So hard coke is obtained when carbonization of the coal is carried out at 900 to 1100 degrees Celsius. So your option D is the correct answer. Next question. Petrol is distilled at. So petrol is distilled at how many temperature? Option A 65 to 220 degrees Celsius, option B 220 to 345 degrees Celsius, option C 345 to 470 degrees Celsius, and option D 470 to 550 degrees Celsius. So petrol is distilled at, option A is the correct answer, that is 65 to 220 degrees Celsius. At that temperature petrol is distilled. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. Here of next question which is asked in DVC exam. Question is Mond gas is obtained by. So options are partial combustion of coal, coke, anthracite coal or charcoal in a mixed air steam blast. This is wrong. Option B carbonization of fuel. Also this is wrong. Option C carbonization of bituminous coal. This is wrong. So here all options are wrong. So here option D is the correct answer, that is Mond gas is obtained by none of the above. Next question. 1 kg of carbon produces which of the following quantity of CO2? So 1 kg of carbon produces how many quantity of CO2? So here options are A 3/7, option B 7/3, option C 11/3, and option D 3/11. So this question is asked in DVC exam. So this is important question. So 1 kg carbon produces is 11/3 quantity of CO2. So here option C, that is 11/3 quantity of CO2 is produced by 1 kg of carbon. So here option C 11/3 is the correct answer. So this is the all types of question which are asked in previous important exams such as RRB, NTPC, and also ONGC exam. So like, comment and share our video. Also, for any query, ask me in the inbox, and subscribe our YouTube channel ABK Smart Study. And thanks for watching.